Welcome to IntoStarCraft. My name is Crucius and today I'm going to be bringing you a gameplay video and a quick review of the custom map, the Hungry Baneling. Now I am playing this on the Southeast Asian server, so I'm assuming it is also available on the US as well as the European server. If you want to find it, you're best searching for the keywords the Hungry Baneling. It's the map with a full stop at the end, and the map creator or the uploader goes by the name of Andrew. So this is our loading screen. As you can see on the left hand side, we do have a quick overview of our basically backstory to the game. The general overview is that once the Overlord died, the other Cerebrates basically didn't really choose to continue the evolution of the Zerg race, except for one Cerebrate by the name of Gluffmoth. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name, but then again, could be wrong. This specific Cerebrate basically continued the Overbind's work and created a unit called the Hungry Baneling. And basically what the Hungry Baneling can do is consume units smaller than itself, which cause it to grow larger, which means it can eventually consume larger and larger units. So basically the concept of the story is similar to the game Spore. If you haven't played that, you'll basically get to experience now, but for those who have played it, you'll know what the general feel of the game is going to be like. So as you can see in the bottom, it does give you a general gameplay view, or gameplay tips I guess. You are going to be using your mouse or the WASD keys to move. As a recommendation, I do suggest that you do use the mouse, and I will show you why when we get in game. You'll be using your right click instead of your left click, and basically when you move into a unit, the Baneling will automatically consume it, so you don't need to press any additional buttons. So it's basically just a click to move game. And spacebar does toggle the camera to follow the Hungry Baneling, so that is probably going to be useful. So once we do press our any key, you are going to be basically presented with a cinematic of the map. Now I know it does say that you can skip it, but it is highly recommended that you don't. I know it may get a bit boring if you do play it a couple of times around, but if you do skip the cinematic, it is going to bug out your camera view. I won't really show you the effect of it because it basically varies from where you do press the button. So I suggest that you don't press the button, and if you do, just restart your game because it is going to make your gameplay a lot harder to play. So this is where you're going to start out. This is our Hungry Baneling, so I am just going to hotkey that just to make my life a bit easier. So as you can see, it does say that we can press spacebar to toggle the camera to follow the Baneling. So if we move it at the moment, it doesn't really follow it all that well, or at all really. So if we do press spacebar, again this is quite a poor key choice because spacebar does locate the camera to your last event, and as you can see our last event is the units getting attacked down at the bottom. So it probably would be better if that was bound to a different key, but we did press it once and now the camera does follow the Baneling, so we're all good to start. So let's look at the keys. At the moment I am using the mouse right click to move, and it is pretty fluid. But if we do use the WASD keys to move, if we move up, there is actually a slight delay in the key input, and you can't really just tap it once or else you don't move all that far. You do have to put a significant amount of force on the key, and there is actually a delay. So the delay is about a second from actually pressing the key to your Baneling moving. And you don't really have the freedom of moving in a diagonal motion. You only have the 4 directions up, down, left, right to actually move. So it is recommended that you do use the mouse just so you can actually have a lot more freedom in your movement, and since you are going to be fired upon, you are going to be taking damage relatively quickly at the start of the game, you do want to make your movements as fluid as possible. So we were told to start off by eating the lava, so we are going to eat the lava. And basically they go splat in full of red blood. So we're told we can now eat drones, so let's just move on to eating drones. So this isn't like Spore where you kind of have to judge the size for yourself. You are told what units you can and cannot eat. Also when you come across a unit larger than you, you won't die automatically. You just will run into it as if it was a building, so you can't move through it, you can't move, well you can move around it, but you can't really move through it. But they will fire upon you, so you do kind of want to take out the units that you can eat pretty quickly. Now this is a slight problem actually moving vertically down along the map. If you're moving up, you do actually have quite a bit of vision since the camera does move pretty fluidly, but if we're moving downwards, you don't get that much area to click, so the camera is going to be lagging. Well, not really lagging, but it's going to be quite jerky if you're moving down the map. So let's just engage in our first battle. Let's take out all these marines, and that's pretty simple. But you can actually take damage in this game. So if we stand here, we're going to take quite a bit of damage, and you can die in this game. So once you die, that's basically game over. But if you do want to regenerate health, yeah, you can eat your other Zerg units. So if we eat a couple of Zerglings, we are going to gain some health back pretty quickly. So let's just take out the rest of these marines before we end up getting killed. So we are told that we need to take out the supply depots in order to stop the marine reinforcements. So let's just run straight into the supply depots, take them out without dying. 11 HP, that's actually pretty close. So let's just eat some Zerglings to regenerate some health back. And that should be enough to get us by. Now there are the missile turrets there, but they aren't going to do all that much, if anything at all really. So there are more marines, and now we can eat ghosts. You can basically ignore the air attack that come up on the side, they don't really mean all that much. So this game is fairly linear. You just follow the path straight down and basically take out whatever units that you can take out. So we can't take out the Marauders or the Hellions yet, so we do have to be pretty careful about those. And you can probably even take out some of the Zerg units just to get some health back right now. So we now can take out the Marines, Zealots and Roaches. Can't take out the Hydras yet, so we will have to wait to eat them to regenerate some health later on. So let's just continue eating all the Marauders and all the Hellions and Reapers. So now we can take out Hydra Stalkers, supply depots and missile turrets. So let's just clean this section up and then we'll move on. As you can tell, this game doesn't really have that much replayability, so it's good to play every now and then, but it's not really gonna hold you down for, say, extended periods of time. So you can probably play it 1 or 2 times through at a time, but overall you're not going to be playing this all that often. So at the moment we can't scale up cliffs, say like a Colossus would, but you are going to be able to later on in the game once you actually level up enough. Now personally, I'd say at this point in the game, it basically becomes a it's not really all that challenging anymore. It's more just tedious to get through it all, because of your size. Well, not really because of your size. The more you level up, the more HP you're going to get, and as the StarCraft mechanics work, the more HP you have, the faster, or the more hit points you're going to regenerate overall. So say we have 500 HP, you're going to be gaining, say, and this isn't exact, this is just an approximation for an example, you're going to be gaining, say, 10% of your health back per tick. Well, not really 10%. Let's go with 5%. So you're going to be regenerating, say, 5 HP per second. And if it were 400 HP, you'd be gaining 4 HP per second. And because the unit damage isn't really scaled in this game, so say the Colossus will always do, say, 10 damage, no matter what level you are, you're going to be regenerating health a lot faster as you level up. So the unit damage that does come in isn't really going to be doing all that much to you, so you're not going to die as easily, if at all, at this point in the game. Of course you will die if you're not really paying attention, but if you keep moving, keep eating, you will basically survive from this point on. So we can't take out the Thors yet, but we can now eat Ultralisk, which doesn't really make much sense, but hey, you might as well. So we just kill off the Ghost and just need to find things to eat up to level up, and there is a nice ball here, so we will run straight through these guys, taking out what we can, and now we can eat the Thors and Colossus. So we are just going to clean up this army pretty easily here. And as you can see, even now it's getting pretty repetitive, so and there actually is quite a long way to go from this point in the game. So now we can scale up cliffs, so let's just pop up here, see what we can see. And honestly, the mechanics while moving up the cliffs is not all that fluid. You do get a bit of delay, but it's not really all that obvious. Now my computer is shitting bricks right now, so any lag you do see is purely FPS and not anything to do with game really. course, if you're running a lot poorer PC, you are going to get some lag, just because of the number of units on the field. Now we do hit the main Zerg den where Glomoth is, and basically we're just going to keep running through here, and now we can take out all flying units, command centers, hatcheries, and lairs. So we are just going to return back down to where the Terran base is, and basically clean up all the buildings just so we can take out any reinforcements. Basically the aim of this game is to reach, I think it is 2,000 morsels, and you do have your morsel count in the top right. And once you hit 2,000 morsels, actually no, never mind, it's going to spoil it for you right here. Basically Glomoth thinks that you have gone out of control and has commanded the Zerg units to take you down, which doesn't really work all that well because, as you know, you do regenerate health from eating Zerg units. So if you have the Zerg units trying to kill you, and you can eat the Zerg units to regenerate health, as you can see, that isn't going to go all too well for them. Now, from this point in the game, it actually is pretty simple because, as you can tell from the minimap, there is just a stream of units coming in. You do kill the melee units without running into them because you actually do kill units from a certain range. So if you watch that Ultralist right there, the moment it actually not the Ultralist, there, once you get to a certain size, you can just basically stand there and all the units that run towards you will die instantly because that's just how big you are. So the attack range is actually going to be smaller than the range that you can eat them at. So you just stand there and basically the game will play itself out. And again, this is kind of what I mean by it lacks replayability because it's just going to be the same tedious thing over and over. You're just going to be eating. And that's basically just going to be the entire game. So we just do need to rack up 200 kills and then we can finally end the game. So we are just going to wreak havoc inside the Zerg's base for the hell of it. There are a nice clump of units there which we are just going to take out, a lot of drones, a lot of spine crawlers, and basically our kill count is going to rack up pretty quickly here. Just going to clean up all those drones and we have about 200 units left to kill. So we can just take out this stream of Zerg units that are coming in and this will end it pretty quickly for us. Overall, it is actually a pretty decent game if you're playing it every so often just to kill a couple of minutes. But as for a sustainable map that you can continuously play, it doesn't really perform all that well. But again, for what it does, it is actually pretty good at it. Assuming that the bugs do get ironed out or you are aware of the bugs. For example, like the cinematic trailer one. Some effects of actually skipping the cinematic trailer is you're going to lose your UI, so you're not going to have your minimap. So basically your screen will look like that when you do lose your UI, which kind of becomes a pain in the ass because you don't know what direction you have to travel in. So we do have 2,000 kills, so we can now kill the Cerebrate, so we just need to run into him, and basically he's going to go pop as well. And that's basically the end of the game. Again, it does do what it is designed to do pretty well. Apart from the bugs, obviously, but again, bugs can always be fixed up, but again, it could be just a limitation of the StarCraft engine. So, overall, I'll probably give this around a 3 out of 5. It is pretty good for what it does, like I've said, but replayability is quite an issue because I've played this around 4 or 5 times just to get a general overview of the game and to learn the different issues about it and what's good about it. But probably after those 4 or 5 times, I won't be touching this map for quite a while. It is good to play, say you have 5-10 minutes spare and you don't really want to do all that much. Sure, go ahead and play this game, but if you're looking for extended sessions, it's not going to really perform all that well for you. So, again, the map is called the Hungry Baneling. You should be able to find it on the major servers, so Southeast Asia, European and US servers. I will post a link to this map if I can find it. It will probably be sourced out from SE2 Mapstar, but if I can find it anywhere else, I'll also throw that down for you. So this has been Crucius for IntoStarCraft, giving you a quick review of the game The Hungry Baneling. Be sure to comment, rate and subscribe, and if you do like this, if you do like what we're doing here, check out our YouTube page. There are other reviews, there are normal SE2 commentaries, and I will post a link to our channel using the annotations for the YouTube. So this has been Crucius for IntoStarCraft, and I'll see you guys next time.